Welcome back, everybody, coast to coast. This Week in America, website thisweekinamerica.us. As mentioned, back with us on the program, Dr. LeslieBeth Wish. She's a nationally recognized licensed clinical psychotherapist, honored for her pioneering work in love, career, happiness, and success, first coming to prominence for her pioneering research about women's hidden obstacles to career development. That research sparked her growing concern about why today's career-minded women are often smart about work, but not about love. Dr. Wish has been named a top 50 social worker by the National Association of Social Workers. She's the founder of LoveVictory.com, her website, co-founder of the Counseling Network for the Special Operations Warrior Foundation, has decades of experience and research more than 10,000 people. She's the author of a pair of self-help books, Smart Relationships and the Love Adventures of Almost Smart Cookie, and co-writing her next book about intuition. Again, the website is LoveVictory.com, empowering you to become brave, smart, and intuitive in love, life, work, and happiness. Dr. LeslieBeth Wish, back with us on This Week in America. Dr. Wish, great to have you back with us on the program today.
And thank you again. I love doing your show.
Love having you with us, and we get great response in the program. And an interesting topic today, we're talking about narcissism. First of all, what exactly is that? We hear that word thrown around, mispronounced. We hear it thrown around quite a bit. What exactly are we talking about?
And right now, we are especially hearing that word when it comes to our political candidates.
Exactly.
So we want to know, what is that? Well, it is such a controversial word because it's been taken out of some of the diagnostic manuals for mental health professionals. It's been grouped under names like antisocial personality, other guidebooks and other mental health, websites and organizations continue using the word narcissistic. So let's just say that this is a person who has a grandiose presentational style about him or herself. I am the greatest. They sort of feel like a walking resume. They use the word I a lot. They really feel like they have much more accomplishments than you do. You're just an average person. Unless, of course, you're someone whom they would like to impress. But inside them is someone who is really pretty fragile, often very overly sensitive, not secure, and behind and underneath, hidden deep inside that part is a lot of anger. And that's where the real danger comes from. But on the outside, let me show you. I'm going to use some props. I'm sorry that some of your listeners can't see this, so I will explain what I'm holding up.
And you will find that if you go to thisweekinamerica.us and click on the icon for YouTube, you'll see exactly what we're talking about, and you'll see the props that Dr. Wish has with us on the program.
Okay, I am holding up a cute little, let me get it all set for you. A cute little sheep. Doesn't this look absolutely adorable?
Very adorable.
This is a really nice little sheep. But look what this is. I'm going to make this sheep turn into a wolf. You see that wolf?
Yes.
This is, as they say, a sheep. I'm putting the little sheep head right back on it. A sheep in wolf's clothing. And that's often what these, let's not use the word narcissistic, let's use the word antisocial. And the reason that that's a good word is that these are people who really have no empathy for you. Empathy is in really short supply. In fact, what they would like is for you to be empathic to them. But they're charmers, very much charmers. So why do people fall for these kind of people? Women do especially, because let's face it, a lot of professional women who are very successful often want to find another leader of the pack. I'm holding up a lion, the leader of the pack, and there's nothing wrong with choosing a leader of the pack. The problem is, if this leader is also not imbibed with kindness, you're going to feel very, very disappointed and often very frightened in a relationship with them.
What's it like when you work with one?
Oh, well, do you mean as a therapist?
Well, I'm talking about in the workplace.
Oh, in the workplace.
And then we'll come back because that's interesting as well. Let's talk about it in the workplace. I'm there, and I think I'm working with someone who's antisocial, who's narcissistic. How do we deal with that?
Well, you know what happens is often these people are top of their game. They're executives. They're your, major boss, owner of the company, um, first vice president, and so it is seemingly acceptable that they are difficult, tough on you, expect a lot. That's seen as something positive. So it's really hard to spot the ones who underneath it are fragile, insecure, highly competitive, and hiding a whole storm of rage.
That's interesting because, yes, you would almost think that would be their personality. You would expect that someone in that position of power. So you really need, again, to go back to what intuition and those cues and be able to determine whether exactly how to deal with this person.
Well, here are some cues as to whether this person is really going to be an impossible boss or an impossible partner, or whether they have some array of hope in them, a degree of flexibility and empathy. Watch how many times this person apologizes. Do they walk into a meeting and say, "I'm sorry, I'm late," or do they walk in and say, "Can I have some coffee? Any coffee left? I'd like some hot coffee." Watch to see how many times they say, "That's a really good point you made," because often these people don't like to share the spotlight. Those are two big tells.
With us on This Week in America, Dr. LeslieBeth Wish. Her website is very simple, lovevictory.com. And of course, go to our website, thisweekinamerica.us, and link on directly to Dr. Wish's website. I was asking before about what if you work with one, and you were talking about maybe from the aspect of a therapist in working with someone. What is that like when you listen and you determine, okay, this is what I'm dealing with. Here's how I'm going to, how do you present it to them and encourage them to maybe modify their behavior?
I would say no to all of that. Usually what happens when these antisocial people lacking in empathy come to see me, it's because they've been dragged in by their spouse or live-in partner. They don't come in on their own. And usually what you have to do, instead of going head on and talking to the person about their feelings or anything along the line that will make them feel fragile and vulnerable, what you do is you recruit them as your help aid. "Hey, could you give me a fuller picture as to what goes on in the house?" And you slowly have to work your way into, what do you recommend could be done to change this situation? You never point the finger at them directly. Now, that's with people who aren't violent. When they're violent, that's a whole different story. And of course, they rarely come in for help. Rarely. But in a relationship, when a woman or a man comes in to see me and talks about their partner being violent, the most important thing to know about these people is do not threaten them with, "I'm going to leave you. I'm going to key your car. I'm going to drain the checking account. I'm leaving you and telling everybody about you." Don't do any of those things. The underground well of these persons' rage and what they can do to harm you physically, financially, emotionally, sexually is almost bottomless. These are the people who end up on Dateline and 48 Hours and all those other crime shows. So if you're going to leave, if you're going to take any measures, do not threaten. Get all your ducks in a row. Go to one of those safe place and rescue centers. Most communities have a rape crisis center or a domestic violence center, and learn how to get a safety plan so you can learn what to do about your bank account, your credit cards, your children, contact information, your cell phone, your important documents. Don't just do it at the seat of your pants or in a fit of rage.
So what you're saying is if you're thinking about leaving this relationship, if you're thinking about breaking up, this is not something you want to do spontaneously. This is something that needs a plan, an action plan before you actually make that step.
Yes, think of here. This is another prop I'm holding up. Oh, I wish your listeners could see this.
Go to
I'm
YouTube.
holding up Dracula.
Oh, yes. Yep. Recognize him.
And see the cape here. See the red cape.
Yes.
There you go. This is what it feels like to be in a relationship over time with a narcissist. It feels as though your blood, your air, your life is being drained out of you. And that's what they do. They really kind of take out all your get up and go, all your sense of yourself. But the relationship usually doesn't start that way, because remember that lion that I held up?
Yes.
Usually women and men who are with people who are incredibly powerful, successful, prominent, with a great reputation, or famous, or even infamous, wow, it feels like you are part of their rays of sunshine. And so you feel as though you've been elevated. And that is a very, very seductive kind of person. And there's nothing wrong, again, with people who are successful and charming, but let's exaggerate those qualities. This is a good tip that I gave to a lot of the women in my research. If you want to know what someone might be like when they go bad, exaggerate the good quality. So you like that they're successful? Exaggerate that. They're always right. They have to be on top. They have to be more important than you are. And make a list of those things. Put it in your nightstand or in your cell phone or your drawer at work, and check it every so often. If they talk about their own projects and themselves a lot and don't give you a lot of air, and in the beginning you think how fascinating this person is, exaggerate that. Imagine that that's all this person does, that the word I is repeated over and over and over again. And write yourself a note. You're looking for things along a continuum. That is how you embolden your intuition.
LoveVictory.com is Dr. Wish's website. 11 there. A few minutes left in the program. It always goes by so quickly. Who tends to get in these intimate relationships?
Well, it's not so much who, but how and when. So I have some more fun props to use. So let me hang on.
Okay, great.
I've got to pick one up. Okay. Let's say that this is a flying bee, okay? And listen to what it does. Can you hear that buzzing?
Yes, in the background. Yes. The bee is buzzing.
That's a busy bee, a busy, busy bee. And this is what's been happening for a long time with working people. They work and work and work, and they are almost all work and no play. They come home, they're exhausted, they do more work, they eat popcorn, they watch whatever their favorite shows are that they've got on DVR, maybe take care of homework or screaming kids, and wow, finally it's time for them. And they begin to feel lonely. All they are is this busy, busy bee, and that buzzing.
Yes.
And so what happens? They are really prey for someone like a super duper lion leader of the pack to zoom in on their life and give them a life. So it isn't so much what kind of person, but what kind of situation you're in. That's the number one way. The second most common way that showed up in my research, and hang on, I'm going to get another prop, is when a person has chosen someone in the beginning, and I'm holding up a wonderful doggy. They chose someone because they were warm and supportive, like dogs usually are. They're your companions. You feel like you've got a love mate. And there's nothing wrong with someone having that kind of skills and ability to relate to you. But what often happens to people who can only be a puppy is that when the going gets tough, they're not there. I'm going to hold up a snail. I love this snail. It's so cool.
Yes.
They shy away from conflict. They're not good at decision making. They're not your wingman or wingwoman. And pretty soon something happens in your life. It could be illness, loss of a loved one. It could be downgrading in your job. It could be loss of your house. There have been a lot of disasters in this country where people lose their houses, and in other countries. So it could be any kind of disaster where you're really hoping that this lovable puppy, I'm holding the puppy up again. I think this is a beagle. Think of a beagle. For some reason, that's what this is. Think of a wonderful, loving puppy who can't help you any longer. You don't need a puppy. You want someone who will be that leader like that lion. So eventually you get disappointed in this partner, and you say to yourself, no more puppy dogs. I'm going for broke. I'm going for the leader of the pack. And again, there's nothing wrong with these kind of people. It's whether they can be other things than just taking charge of their life and yours as well.
You're listening to This Week in America, website thisweekinamerica.us. Our guest on the program, Dr. LeslieBeth Wish, a nationally recognized licensed clinical psychotherapist, author of 2 books, Smart Relationships, and The Love Adventures of Almost Smart Cookie, working on her new book, co-writing a book on intuition. All the information available at her website, lovevictory.com. A couple minutes left in the program. We're talking about getting out of relationships, intimate relationships. How do you deal with a narcissistic boss? The dynamic is different there. How do you go about dealing with that?
I'm so glad you asked that question because I would have been kicking myself if I had forgotten to give how to deal with a boss like this. So the most important thing your boss needs from you is for you to make him or her shine. Don't embarrass them. Make them look good. So what you want to do is to get proactive. Keep a log of your accomplishments and what you've done. And depending upon the culture where you work, the way your company works or the office works, send him or her a message, a note, an email, however your office likes to work. And I don't mean every week, but once a month, once every 2 weeks. You yourself know best whether your boss's eyes on you all the time or whether they check on you once a month. Whatever it is, find out how the flow of information works. Get on that river. And what you're going to do is send messages. Call Don at such and such a place. I'm on the such and such project. Just thought you'd want to know. You want them to see you as part of a reliable, successful, on top of it team. That's how you get your boss to calm down. Because what makes these bosses get angry and impossible and make you feel so anxious that you make more mistakes is when your behavior doesn't make them look good.
Great information. You'll find it at the website, lovevictory.com. With us on the program, and she will be back, is Dr. LeslieBeth Wish. We'll be back talking about some great topics coming up. It is always so beneficial to have you on the program and information that people deal with in real life. And you're very relatable, and it's always a pleasure having you on the program. Looking forward to having you back on the show. And you can find all the information and a lot of excellent information at Dr. Wish's website, which is lovevictory.com. Thank you for being with us on the program once again.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I'll talk to you, I think, is it next week?
Yes, we'll be doing a program again next week, so keep listening for it right here on This Week in America. Information on when it will air on our website, thisweekinamerica.us. Stay tuned. We're right back after these messages.
Thank you.